So a few weeks ago, I had an idea for a new business and I thought, don't be silly, just focus on the stuff you're doing. But then it occurred to me that maybe I could use this as an experiment and take you through on the journey to show you how branding can be really effective. I was just watching a video that I thought sounded interesting, and something that this woman said just sparked an idea that I thought would be really cool and really exciting. But of course I was like, no, I need to focus on what I'm already doing. I shouldn't start, stretching things too far and be trying to do something completely new. But then I thought how I could tie it back in. What I could do is work on creating this business and using branding as a way to market it, and then take you on that journey to show you how I go about that and see how we go. But this morning I was reading this book called Primal Branding, and there was something in it that I thought was very interesting, and it's sort of part of what I want to be doing with this whole series. So this guy, he was working on his business and helping other people with their businesses, and there was something that he was doing with his branding that made him start to realize how powerful branding is. And the comment he made is, I've come to understand that the brand is the ad. So branding can be a very powerful way of marketing. It's a form of marketing, and it can be more effective than just throwing ads out there. So I want to show how really working on a strong brand can help create an incredible brand that people want to buy. So the idea is I want to take you through the whole branding process and show you what kind of things need to be considered to create a really powerful brand that really attracts people, and how branding is such a powerful tool when it comes to marketing. Now, all good brands need to have an offer. There needs to be something that you're selling. You can't just create a brand for no reason at all. There needs to be a promise, something that you're going to be offering people. And then of course you need to consider who it's for. So this business idea basically started with the idea of the product. So the product idea was going to be headbands. I realized that this was a really trending thing and something I liked, but there were certain things that I was looking for and certain things that I loved that I just couldn't find. And I thought, well, that's a bit of an opportunity, because when it comes to a business, you need opportunity. You need to find your little niche in the market, but you also want to make it not too hard for yourself and create something that's super unique and out there that's going to take a lot of work to market and convince people that they actually need. If you can find something that's trending and people already really want, and just make it different in some way, differentiate that business, then you're going to have something really powerful, because there needs to be some sort of differentiation. People need to have a reason why they're going to choose you over other people, and part of that differentiation comes into the way you brand it. So first of all, let's look at the product idea. Now, I don't know if you've heard of the book Alter Ego by Todd Herman, but in that book he talks about having this alter ego to help you overcome things that you fear so that you can perform to your absolute best and become your best self. And so I thought with this brand that the idea of these headbands and them making you feel really good and confident, it's like this item you can put on and you can feel like your best self. Because in the book he talks about how often people have an object or something to help put on this alter ego, this best self, like some glasses or lucky socks or something, and it's sort of like they're putting on this persona and they're putting on this alter ego so that they can overcome their fears and be the best that they can. And so in a way you could be putting on these headpieces and it will make you feel so confident, and it's like you become this your best self, your most confident self. And so it really is a big confidence booster for someone who might feel a little bit shy or might feel a bit quiet and wants to wear something that makes them feel really great. So let's start working through this brand. So part of the process I like to go through when it comes to a brand is first working out the focus. Before you do anything else with a brand, you need to get really clear on what the focus is. So this includes the focus of what's being offered and the focus of who it's for. So some people will talk about a niche, so that's very similar to what the focus is. So what is that niche? What is it that we're trying to narrow down to? Because we don't want to do a brand where it's super broad. We're not trying to create a supermarket or some big brand. We want to have a real clear niche and focus. So for this particular brand, the product really is that starting point. It's the starting point for our niche. So the product is these headpieces. So the way we can narrow down these headpieces more than just say headpieces is, well, first of all, think about occasion. So a lot of headpieces that are super fancy are going to be for special occasions, like going to races or weddings or special events. But for these particular headpieces, I'm going to narrow down into the everyday market. So I want headpieces that people can wear any day. It doesn't necessarily have to be a special event. They might want to wear them for a special event, but they're appropriate that they can be just worn any day. So they can just be to dress up, look nice, and feel good any day of the week. But at the same time, there's a huge market of everyday headpieces. So how can I narrow it down to make it a little bit different from what's out there, so that it's not just like what you can just get from, you know, Kmart or Target or whatever, but what can we do to make it a little bit more unique and interesting? So what I thought is that they're going to be everyday headpieces that are a bit more statement. So they sort of fit in this funny little in-between area where they're not these ones for special occasions, but they're a little bit more fun and out there than the regular everyday ones. So the idea is that they're these really fun pieces that make you feel really good and really confident, and they're a bit more of a fashion statement. Also, they're going to be completely handmade. So a lot of the stuff you're seeing in those big stores are going to be manufactured, mass-produced, probably made in China, whereas these are going to be handmade and they're going to be limited. So I'm only going to do small runs of each lot of fabric and different designs, and so there may only be maybe one or only three of a particular design. There's this really cool uniqueness about them where there'll only be a few people with that particular design. So that's another way I'm going to niche it down, by having this uniqueness, handmade, limited edition factor to it. Which to me also creates a bit of a must-have factor. If you think, well, if you really love a design, you can't wait around and think, oh, you know, I'll buy that another day. If there's only a few of them in stock and once they're gone, well, then you're going to be like, well, I really love that one, so I've got to get it right now. It's a bit of a must-have. And it adds to that cool fashion factor too of, you know, only a few people have got it, and it's a bit of a fashion statement piece. So it's going to make you feel really cool and confident, and you're going to feel like you can be really different and unique because you've got something that not many other people have. The next part of finding a focus and a niche is to then look at the audience. Who is this actually for? So we've got clear on what the product niche and focus is, but who is it going to be aimed at? Who's this audience? So for this particular brand, it's definitely going to be women, obviously. It's a headpiece for women. There might be certain segments where there's men that like to wear them or whatever, but our focus when it comes to marketing is going to be on women. Now, that's something to note is you'll always come up with a particular focus audience, but there'll always be people outside that audience that may actually still be interested in your product. There may be people a lot older than you thought that really like it, or people of a different gender, or just not within that realm of what you thought was going to buy it. And that's okay, that's going to happen. But the idea is we want to get really narrow with a niche audience to help us with marketing, because if we try to market to everyone, it makes our message really wishy-washy and not really focused and clear and feeling like it's really speaking to a certain kind of person. So it's okay, we're going to probably pull in all kinds of different people that we didn't expect, but we want to be clear on a particular audience so we know who we can market to. And that's probably going to be the majority of the people that are going to buy from us, but there'll always be people on the fringes that are still attracted to it for whatever reason. Often that's the values of the brand or just the style of the brand. Something else about it that just really attracts them. It's just part of branding, is that we want to get clear for our marketing, but there's going to be a broader audience that are probably going to actually purchase. So if you're one of those people like, oh, I don't want to narrow down because then I'm going to be cutting out all these people, you're actually not cutting them out. You're just making your marketing and your messaging a lot clearer. So in terms of the age group of these people, I'm thinking probably between 15 and 70, and something pretty broad, to be honest, because there's going to be young people that are really into it. And then I know people in their 60s that really love fun headbands and headpieces. So to be honest, I think it's a pretty broad age range. And so I'm not really focused on the age group of my people. For me, it's more about the psychographics rather than the demographics with this brand. So it's more about their mindset, the kinds of things that they're into and their interests, and, you know, that sort of more mental stuff rather than those physical demographics. So when it comes to your own branding, that's something you need to consider. Are you going to focus more on the demographic side of things and get really focused on it's this particular age group and, you know, they live in this area and make this much money? Or you're going to focus a bit more on those psychographics of the way they think, or something sort of in between where you're sort of leveling out both things? Because a lot of people will talk about the demographics, so you've got to get clear on, you know, their age and their gender and where they live and all that sort of stuff. But psychographics in a way can actually be a lot more important, because that's about the way that particular audience thinks, their mindset. When it comes to marketing, it's so much easier to then market to that, because we're thinking, well, what are these people thinking? Where are they at? What is their mindset, their language, the things that they're into, all those sort of things. So the psychographics of this particular brand, I think, are people that are really into fashion and they like to feel good and dress up and have a bit of fun. They're rather creative kind of people because they like to be a bit more playful with the way they dress and their fashion style. But there's also a certain gentleness to these people. They're very kind-hearted, friendly, happy kind of people. They're not really aggressively bold and out there and controversial. They're more this real gentle, fun, creative, bubbly kind of person. They may also be quite quiet and reserved, but they like to dress up to feel good and boost their confidence a bit. So it's all about this mindset of wanting to feel confident and a little bit creative with their fashion and have a bit of fun to make themselves feel good. And I think that psychographic leads into the brand name for this particular brand. Now, back in March 2020, I had come up with this little brand that I was going to do print on demand t-shirts and things like that. And I came up with the name The Gentle Creative. Now, obviously COVID hit and it was the absolute worst time to start a print on demand brand because suddenly all the printers were closing down their factories and shipping suddenly became super slow. So I just gave up on the whole idea because I thought this is absolute worst timing. I don't know when things will get better. And there were some problems I was finding with the product that I wanted to tweak, and I thought, look, it's just not the time for that. And so I just put it aside and thought I'll just focus on my main brand, Tabitha. But now coming back to this new brand, I thought to myself, you know, that's a great name still. Why not use that for this one, The Gentle Creative? Because I wanted it to be this woman who is a little bit more gentle, kind-hearted, this sort of happy, friendly spirit. And she's also really creative when it comes to fashion. She loves to sort of express her creativity through her outfits and what she wears and get that confidence boost in the way she dresses. So I've decided to stick with that particular brand name, and probably in the next video we'll start working on that visual branding of looking at the logo and how we're going to work on that. Now, I did have a logo already, so I'll probably just go through how I came up with that one, and then also looking at how we expand the brand beyond that logo, because the logo, while a lot of people focus on that, isn't actually the most important part. When it comes to the branding visuals, there's a lot of other things that are actually in a way more important. So we're going to also look at how we're going to choose colors for the brand, how we're going to have other brand elements, also creating logo variations, because originally I just created that main logo, but I didn't create the logo variations, so I still need to work on that part of it. And you know, looking at the overall style and feel and how we're going to expand that brand visuals. So that's sort of the whole idea of this series, is I want to take you behind the scenes, show you the process behind building those brand visuals and building a brand, and how you come up with that, how you actually do the thought process behind it all. Now, another part of the focus is thinking about that transformation. So where do we want to take that person? Why are we giving them this offer? What is that transformation we're providing them? Now, some products you might think, is there really a transformation there? But in everything, there is some level of transformation, because there's a reason why people want to buy it. They want to buy a better version of themselves. They don't just want to buy some random product for whatever reason. For some reason, there's something behind it that's driving them to want to buy that thing. And so in this particular case, it's going to be that transformation of confidence, of feeling good about themselves. So we want them to think, well, if I buy that, it's going to make me feel really good, really confident, and I'm going to feel great that day when I put it on. So it gives them that transformation of confidence. So when it comes to your own brand, think about that transformation. What is it you're actually trying to sell to them? And then when it comes to the branding, we can really put that into it. We can focus on our messaging and our visuals and think about, this is a brand that's about that particular transformation. So in my case, it's going to be, this is a brand that's going to focus on that feeling of a confidence boost and feeling good about yourself. And then beyond the transformation, we can also dig a little bit deeper into why they would want to buy it. So in this case, it's also the fact that it's a must-have. So there's that element of this limited edition, there's not many of them, it's a bit different and it's more fun, and not many people are going to have something like it. And so there's a bit of a must-have factor of, oh, I really want to get that because that's unique, that's different, it's going to make me stand out. Not many other people are going to have anything like it. So there's this really fun must-have factor to it. Plus, it's fun and different, and it's going to make them feel good. So they're going to think to themselves, when I get that, I'm going to have so much fun putting together an outfit with it. It's going to make me feel really great when I wear it. It's going to add this extra level to my outfit for that day. And you know, there's all that sort of thought process and what they're going to be thinking as they look at it and decide, is this something that I want to buy? So when you think about what's going to be going on in their heads as they look at that product and think, do I want to buy this? You can then put that into your branding, put that into your marketing messaging, and it's going to help boost of, yes, you do want to buy this, because you're going to get all these things when you get it. You're going to get that confidence boost. You're going to have that fun. You're you're going to have that must-have uniqueness factor. So it's really important to get clear on those things. If you want to keep watching this series, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell button so you get notified when the next video comes out in the series. And I hope it's going to help you too with your own branding, to start thinking about what you need to be considering and think about in order to go through and take your brand through that process to create a really compelling brand. So I'll see you next time.